From day one, you had a number of Republicans who were calling to impeach Joe Biden. You know, famously, it was either Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of those freaks. They were literally saying it from like day one. Oh, we got to get rid of this guy. And they were working backwards from that conclusion. So, of course, they came up with a variety of different... In fact, they got into a fight with each other over impeachment. Because one of them was like, I came up with this idea first. And now people are signing on to your idea to do it. And it's your bill. And I'm not okay with that. Come to mine. It's all petty and personal. But they're just trying to find any reason whatsoever to impeach Biden. Okay. Well, they were getting closer, right? They want to do that impeachment inquiry thing, which isn't an impeachment vote because they know they don't have the numbers yet. They want to do an inquiry. But in the process of having this inquiry and trying to find their angle to impeach him, the main avenue that they seemed to settle on, which was bribery, corruption involving Hunter and Joe, it turns out that the informant that was giving them all the information they wanted to hear, turns out he's a liar. Turns out he made it all up. And he was indicted for lying. So, over the course of a day, all their work, just up in smoke. Just gone. So, now, we learn the following. Quote, the math keeps getting worse. James Comer admits he may have to give up on Biden impeachment probe. Wow. A lack of evidence, House Oversight Chairman admits Republicans' Biden gambit isn't looking so hot. The impeachment inquiry House Republicans launched against President Joe Biden may not end with an impeachment vote, House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer admitted in a recent interview with Spectrum News. By the way, not even an impeachment vote. Not even an impeachment vote. Never mind, hey, we're going to have a vote here and it's going to fail by 5 or 6 votes or whatever. Not even a vote. All right, let's continue. Speaking to the news source last week, Comer indicated that the House holding a vote is decreasingly likely because the math keeps getting worse for the GOP, a statement reflecting Republicans' narrowing majority and internal skepticism about the merits of the investigation, Mediaite reports. Comer's probe, which is examining allegations that Biden accepted bribes, laundered money, and peddled influence in connection to his son's overseas business activities, has yet to yield any substantial evidence of the president committing any wrongdoing, which some Republican representatives have admitted. How the Democrat-controlled Senate addresses the recent impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will be an indication of how their inquiry will go, Comer told Spectrum. Quote, I think the conference will get to see what happens with this Mayorkas impeachment in the Senate and how serious the Senate treats that as to whether or not we impeach Joe Biden. Over here, we just focus on holding him accountable, Comer said, expressing hope for accountability. He went on to suggest that Biden could later face a probe from the Justice Department should Trump win back the presidency in November. So look, here's the thing. And this was the case under Trump too, right? They had a number of impeachment votes under Trump. And every single time I came out here and told you the same thing. Even in a best case scenario, it gets through the House. Okay, he was impeached in the House. You could say he's impeached. But then what happens? It goes to the Senate and you need, 3/4 or 2/3? You need a very, very high number to get a conviction on the impeachment in the Senate. See, that's what happens. When it gets to the Senate, it acts kind of like a trial, and you need a very high number of senators to get the conviction on the impeachment, and then they would be removed from office. With Trump, I said, what'll happen is it could get through the House, then it'll die in the Senate, then you got all these headlines, Teflon Don survives yet again, Teflon Don defeats his resistance liberal Democrat opponents. And it'd be a round of positive press for Trump. Well, that's exactly what happened under Trump. And now it's the exact same thing under Biden, except it's even more pathetic because it looks like it wouldn't even get through the House. They have a slim margin, and they're dropping like flies too, by the way. And there's no way they're going to hold together that coalition. A number of the Republicans are from purple districts. These are districts that could easily go Democratic. So if they come across like a psycho far-right MAGA Republican, they'll get their asses voted out. They know that. They can't vote for an impeachment. And so there's not even going to be a vote in the House, never mind it failing in the Senate. They bring up Mayorkas like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to know how open they are to it with this. Well, that's also going to die in the Senate. Like, who are we kidding? You just impeach them because you don't like them. You don't like what's happening at the border, and you're like, I don't know, we don't like them. Impeach them. That's not how it's supposed to work, right? Now, look, for Biden, problem is they picked a topic where there's not enough there. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a lot of people on the Democrat team who are like, I don't think Hunter even did anything wrong. I don't care about his sex and his addiction and all that other stuff. He's got problems. Okay, that's obvious. I do care about all of the financial impropriety. I think he is a criminal. I think he certainly was trying to do pay to play. When you're sitting on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, and you're taking hundreds of thousands of dollars for doing Dickie McGee's acts, why are you doing that? Well, I think Occam's razor is he was trying to do pay to play. He was trying to get the big guy in on it, Joe Biden. But my guess is also, based on the evidence we have to this point, Joe looks at his son like he's the village idiot. Like he loves him, he takes care of him, he's a sweet and loving dad, as we've seen from the private messages that have come out. But ultimately, when he looks at him, he's like, this motherfucker's a fuck up. You know, I don't know what he's into, but hey, keep it away from me. That's the sense you get from Joe, right? And this is what the realization the Republicans are coming to. That even if Hunter's corrupt, and he is, you need evidence to connect it directly to Joe Biden. And the evidence they thought they had went up in smoke because it was based on a liar who was just indicted for lying about the specifics of this. So it ain't going to work. So they're giving up on it. By the way, the thing that I find insufferable in this whole conversation, and I felt like this under Trump too, right? The idea that there's not an actual reason to, for real, impeach Biden is ludicrous. This is a guy, we have this thing called the Leahy Law. You cannot arm human rights abusing regimes. We cannot send our money and our weapons to human rights abusing regimes. We're doing this literally in the midst of a genocide. Israel is carpet bombing Palestinian babies on a daily basis, and Biden is like, take some more weapons and money. That would be the thing to impeach on, and that's substantively and factually, it is true that he's doing that, and it shouldn't be allowed. But they would never pick that issue. Why? Because literally every elected Republican, except maybe like Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, like 99.9% of elected Republicans are like, not only do I agree with Biden on that, I want to send more weapons to them so they can finish their genocide. That and like 80 to 90% of the Democratic politicians are the same. They believe that too. Like, yeah, we always arm Israel. That's what we do. So here you have an example of Joe Biden facilitating literally the worst possible crime in human history, genocide. And they're not even focusing on that as like, this should be the thing we go after him on. They're like, let's go with a made up corruption thing that didn't pan out. Oh my God, man. Oh, it's unbearable. But look, it's also kind of funny that these Republicans are like, ah, shit. Like, oh, God damn it. We got nothing. All this time, we got nothing. Yeah, that's right. Maybe get out of your bubble, right? Get out of your little right-wing conspiracy bubble. Like I said, there are real arguments to make against Biden, but you wouldn't make them because you agree with him when he's doing a genocide. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.